Hello YouTube fans. Thought I'd do this one because I remember doing the original, that being from the Daleks, the next story. That is, bear with me, Daleks of Fade, wrong one, Daleks of Fade Earth from 1966. What can I say? Daleks of Fade Earth. So, that's the end of that. See you later. I'm only talking. Yeah, Daleks of Fade Earth. As you know, the Possessed of Doctor Who and the Daleks, one day before this, they decided to make another one, that being Daleks of Fade Earth, starring Peter Tussin as Doctor Who, reprising his role once again. Because of the biddy and it's being the original, I should say, being a big success, they decided to spend a lot more money, I should say, or spend more budget in making Doctor Who, or to say, Daleks of Fade Earth. Again, this was a movie uppertaken from the televised series with Ian Martino. I do actually, some of this I would say is better than the TV version, and some of the TV version I felt was sort of included in the 66 movie version. Again, you've got the same character that plays his granddaughter, the little girl, but the duo of the other granddaughter isn't played by different actors. And you've got an opening where you've got a Bobby, a peace officer, chasing after a couple of tea leaves. By accident, he accidentally steps into the TARDIS, which again looks a bit messy, a bit more messy in my bedroom, as you see. I could have done a bit of spin cleaning. But yeah, then it just starts off, your typical 60s type of music. And then in the future, like most films and programs in the future, do they ever get it right? I do actually like the idea of the roll ball men, which I do admit, compared to the TV version, wasn't as depressing. Have you ever watched the televised version of The Daleks of Fade Earth? It was shot in '64. That was a lot more downbeat. If you don't know what I mean, one day, if you can, watch the TV version from 1964 with Ian Martino, and then watch the movie one from '66, and you see what I mean by it was a lot more downbeat with the roll ball men. But I like the idea. This was before roll ball top. That these men called roll ball men, all leather jacket. I'm thinking this is a bit sexy, but but yeah, you had the roll ball men. And not only that, at the time they were selling Sucker Puffs. That's like the Sucker Puff monster, because this was the same year when Sucker Puffs started to come out. So they decided to market the idea by using Sucker Puffs and using a lot of posters in Sucker Puffs, which I like that idea. It's a good idea, right? So yeah, so this was started doing on this one and all on this DVD, this one here. The second one, that being Daleks of Fade Earth, it does actually have the original biography, the biography of the first one, Doctor Who and the Daleks, and Daleks of Fade Earth. So you do get what you got, a biography of the actual film, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? You get a biography, you get it all. And I actually like that one. I think it was very good and it's very tough. You got the Daleks again, now we're in London, when they've got people as slaves. And you do get a well-known stuntman who does a stunt in it. Well-known stuntman, he's been in a lot of films in the 60s and 70s. He also doubled a lot for Christopher Lee in some of the Tracker films in the 60s and 70s. So you do get a stuntman that does a bit of a stunt in it. In the biography, you also got him talking about the stunt he did, where I believe he actually had an accident doing the stunt, and he had to have his leg. It was his leg actually. His leg was plastered, and he had to redo the stunt. The awards of being a stuntman. But yeah, again, I think Peter Tussin plays a really good role as Doctor Who, but sadly to say, the film wasn't as successful as Doctor Who and the Daleks. It didn't make as much money. So the idea of making a different Dalek story every day chopped, and it's the same. It's the same because I would have loved to see maybe Peter Davison. I said that last time. I mean Peter Tussin, sorry. Peter Davison is the one in the series. I'd have liked to see Peter Tussin probably would have done more movie roles as Doctor Who. You know, maybe have different stories, the Cybermen or something like that, or maybe the monsters from the other 60s episodes. But because it wasn't successful and it didn't make as much money, that never happened. But I do know in 1985 they did do an old-made film. If you ever find that, you're a dud 'un. So actually, yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I like the fine saucer. It's fine about. Good effect for that era. For that era, it was a good effect. And there's bits in it which is very similar to the TV version with Ian Martner. But the ending is a downbeat. Again, if you've ever seen a 64 Daleks of Fade Earth, it does have a downbeat ending. Well, I'll spoil it, you know what I mean? Probably have seen it. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, you probably have seen Daleks of Fade Earth. The difference in the ending is the actress that played Doctor Who's granddaughter was going to leave in 1964, so she left the TV show. So it ended in the TV one that is, of Doctor Who leaving his granddaughter, very fatherly love, and going in his TARDIS and saying bye-bye and leaving her in London. I told in the movie version, that doesn't end like that. In the movie one, they go back into the modern era, which is in 66, and they leave the peace officer, they turn the time, which is funny because that's never been mentioned in any of the TV series. Again, the movie's a total different story. And they say bye-bye to the peace officer. He nicks the baddies because he failed when it opened up. The peace car drives off. It has that annoying 60s music again. And yeah, that's how it ends. Now, compared to the Doctor Who and the Daleks, I do think it had a bit more pacing issues. There's bits in there they could have cut down a bit. I think it did have a lot more pacing issues. It didn't run as fast or as smooth as Doctor Who and the Daleks. But I could definitely see they put more of a budget in it. There's bits in it where I wish they would have used from the TV series, because I remember the TV series having a monster called Lynx, and it's a big monster. It's laughable. It's a man in a costume, but for a 60s show and a TV budget, I don't expect top-notch special effects for a 60s TV show. But for the film one, I felt they sort of had that monster in it, and you know, things here and there what I felt they sort of used in the TV one, they sort of used in the movie version. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But I do like it. I do think Peter Cushing does a good role. I do like it. It's a classic from 66. The Daleks, again, are in colour. Good budget. To me, the Daleks look brilliant on the movie version of Doctor Who. Daleks of Fade Earth. So because it's a classic, why not? A 10-star rating, because I do actually like Daleks of Fade Earth. Into then, I'll do more movies on the way. Into then, I'll see you soon.